Everybody, welcome to your Module 5 overview video. So let me get this pulled up. Hope you guys are having, by the time you're watching this, a nice 3-day weekend. Hopefully you didn't spend, I'm recording this on Monday, today, Labor Day, working on your group presentations and were able to get some rest. So just a quick review of Module 4. You guys worked on your special populations group presentations and you read through, or at least kind of remotely read through, I know sometimes it's a lot, chapters 12 through 15 of the textbook of all the different populations that we often consider to be special or underrepresented or marginalized. One of my favorite sessions of all, kind of over these 4, are these special group presentations. And I think and I hope that by your in-depth kind of review or study of that population that you are going to be able to disseminate a lot of your findings to your colleagues and that you will learn a lot about these populations. So with that, before I go on, with your group presentations, know that you have about 15 or 20 minutes to share what you found. A lot. Well, it seems like that might be a lot. You're going to find yourself wanting to maybe talk for like 30 or 40. I'm going to try to not be rude, but just an effort of time, and for everybody's time and ability to pay attention, we'll really try to limit it to 20 minutes. So split that up. I'm going to try and have with me a timer so you can at least see and be able to monitor yourself that way. So I'll provide a timer for the presenters. All right, so moving on, your Google Plus form contributions have been lovely over the past couple days. For you, I want to kind of recognize there's been a lot of chatter about underachieving gifted students based on your readings. Susan in particular has a student that she feels the whole chapter was written just about her. Her being, not Susan, her being the student in her class. Or maybe her, I don't know. Grace has another student where she says that he's very intelligent but puts forth absolutely no effort in class. Beyond that, he makes an effort to disrupt class and publicly undermine my expectations. So if you would like to read more about Grace's contribution and maybe some of the comments that your colleagues have made on her post, hop over to the forum. There's also been a lot of talk about perfectionism because you had that Silverman article. Some interesting considerations, I think, by Christina in terms of the overlap or perhaps interaction between creativity and perfectionism. So that's an interesting conversation. Elise talks about how to give constructive feedback to gifted students who may have some emotional sensitivities and what that looks like. How do we teach them some of these skills of taking criticism in constructive ways? So I love what I'm seeing and reading it, and I like that it's just kind of reactions and how you're making connections. I value that kind of more open-ended form of discussion forums, which, as you know, in grad school and in mostly online classes where you have discussion forums, there's a little bit more structure to them. So I hope you're enjoying the chance to just kind of reflect and make your personal connections. Just a quick reminder to make sure your posts are contributing to the forum and make sure that you're including at least one question for your classmates to respond to. You can include that within the prompt or somehow conclude with it to keep the conversations going. For Module 5, you have one chapter reading in your textbook. That's Chapter 4. That's giving you an introduction to identification. We are going to go over identification more in depth in terms of the assessment class. So this class is really just going to be an introduction to that. And then I have an article for you. It's about 10 pages. You're probably not going to want to read it super word for word, but I do want you to skim it selectively, or choose when you're wanting to really focus in on the writing versus you kind of get what they're saying. But that is an article about creativity in gifted identification, how it's used to increase accuracy and diversity, or just a discussion about that. Diversity in terms of diverse populations. So do make sure you read that in some form or fashion. Make sure you work on your special populations group. There's no assignment other than your group presentation. Your group presentation is going to be 40 points out of your total points for your level of achievement for this course. And Dr. Siri is going to be joining us at some point. I'm not sure exactly what time she's going to be able to come, but she's going to bring paperwork for you guys to fill out so that way you can get started with this preliminary or probational gifted teacher status And so I remember last time people having to make a photocopy of their driver's license. So I'm going to say just go ahead and bring one. Make sure you have a reminder set to bring your photocopy in case that's needed. Other than that, have a great rest of your week. I'm going to see you Monday the 10th. That's our next in-resident session for your group presentations at 4:30 p.m. in that Bulldog room in Clark Middle. That's in their media center. And we will talk about, I know some of you have emailed me saying like, I'm going to be 5 or 10 minutes late due to traffic and getting across town. I'm going to try and make a reminder, or at least someone remind me that on here Monday the 10th, we'll talk about if we need to push the start back time to 4:45 instead of 4:30. But in general, getting there by 4:45 is okay. Usually I try to start slowly as people sort of trickle in. But if we find that lots of people are trickling in after 4:30, I say let's go ahead and just set that start time for 4:45. But again, I know like some of you are like, oh, the sooner we start, the sooner we're done. So I get that. And because you've been told that it's 4:30, we're going to keep it 4:30, but we will have a discussion about whether or not we feel it best to push it to 4:45. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys on the 10th. Have a great rest of your week.